morning guys, here we are in the shed. We're going to show you guys what we've done with this espresso bar build on this awesome Hilux. Come on through, let's go. Alrighty guys, today we're going to show you my favourite build to date. No offence to any of my other customers, but this is a little bit different. The detail in this of what we've achieved is going to blow your mind. So we're going to get back to that in a minute. Let's do a full walkthrough of this vehicle because it came in as a completely stock SR Hilux. Before we get into the back of the Canopy and show you guys what I'm pumped about, we're going to get through and go through the details of this vehicle just to give you a full perspective as to what we can achieve within a short time frame. So starting with the front bar, we've got the PSR front bar, which is the ambush bar. For many people that do ask, it's an ambush bar and it's got the pre-runner style finish on it as well. In the Manix black, so we've done a custom powder coat to this. Normally they come as a matte black. We've done a custom powder coat to tie in with the rest of the vehicle that's on display. So a lot of modification requires for these bars, but as you can see, it sits pretty. It's got the fair lead on the front, ready for the winch, and a lot of ground clearance on the front as well, which makes it look pretty tough. All right, so part of the build of this, so obviously we're carrying a lot of weight with these vehicles, and we need to make sure that it's reliable, safe, and also it meets the standards and guidelines for this vehicle touring around Australia. So added the front bar for ground clearance, but we've also added a full GVM post-rego upgrade, and we've chosen ARB for these vehicles for the simple fact of the serviceability right around the country. We've got the latest and greatest stuff that they're producing at the moment. We're running the Old Man Emu system and the big bore 65mm or 62mm big bore shocks on these. We've got a set of 285 70/17s wrapped around the beautiful fuel cycle wheels. For me, it just ties in with all the detail that's going on with this vehicle without going exaggerated over the top. So Maxxis, Razors, MT, these are by far my favourite tyre for any vehicle. Tried and tested these a lot through our touring days as well. And these to me, they are quiet, they're aggressive, but they actually work. Going along with the 2-inch lift, we've added the flare for the offset of these wheels just to stack with the rear as well, so that therefore the vehicle's got a wider stance. The GVM on this car is now 3465 post-rego, and we're well under that, but we're obviously carrying a lot more weight than what someone would with just a standard tray, so to speak. All right, flowing in from the GVM, we've got obviously, to keep the lines of the vehicle very clean, this is not a rock crawler. This is designed to suit a business, so it's got to be appealing for their customers as well, but it's practical, and that's what we're all about. Practicality is massive here. We've added the Clearview power boards to this. Now, I actually can open that through the which is a pretty cool feature. So you don't even need to open the door in this, and it opens and closes off the actual remote pad, which is pretty cool. Again, nice clean lines along the bottom. Throughout the top, we've added the Rhino backbone on there. Again, we've used Rhino for a long time. It just suits our needs, you know, the lines, the flows, the design of them, they just work. We've added the steady 42-inch underhung light bar on there. It's got DRLs as well, so amber and white, so you can use them for camp setups or early morning setups where you're not blinding people, which is pretty cool. But the beauty of this new build that we've done, we've got the Bush Company Rooftop 10 on there. Now, we've been using these for a long, long time. I don't sell products that I don't use, period. That's as simple as that. But what the guys at Bush Company have done, they've produced a rooftop tent that is lighter, but still matches the same quality that we've grown to know with the AX range. Now it's 32 kilos lighter from the original, which is pretty cool, and it's called the LX27. So super slimline, but door opening still remains the same, and you can still hang a 270 XT Max awning off it, freestanding awning, which I'll show you when we get to the other side. The kicker with this is we've been doing this for years. With our roof platforms and the rooftop tents, we've reversed them. We've gone away from the traditional hang it off the back, climb over the tire, you know, kick your shoes off or thongs off and get into camp. We've reversed it, we've brought it to the front. We're utilizing the capacity of the roof platform to climb up from the side where the actual ladder hangs off. We climb up on the side. You've also got the brace to hold on to something as well for added security, especially for the misses. And you can climb in, kick your shoes off, and you've got a platform that you could hang out there if need be in a morning, sunrise, or whatever it might be. So it's pretty cool when you think of it that it's actually practical to go the other way. Think about this, right? You're at camp, you got the ocean or the horizon in front of you, you got sunrise, coffee bar in the back, come up, sit on the top, get a beautiful view, sip away on your coffee, and just think about the achievement that you've got or what your day's gonna look like moving forward. I mean, that's what Australia's all about, right? That's why we build these things, yeah? So on the top of this rooftop tent, to keep the weight down as well, we've added 4 flexi panels, copper flexi panels on these. So they're 100 watts each. And I've done a video recently on these, just a little story on our socials that showed the capacity of what this 400 watts was putting in. I think we peaked at like 470 watt on a cloudy day. Alrighty, so we've come to the back end. Now, again, with the Trig Point Canopy, we'll show you what we've chosen to do with this setup for this customer, but it's not limited to this. Obviously, the rear wall can be modified in terms of the way you want to place your dual wheels, single, dual jerry can, ladders, like it's pretty customizable. But in this instance, we've hung the rear wheel on the right side to counterbalance the coffee machine on the left side. So this is all about, again, getting the balance of this vehicle, so based on what we're doing. We've chosen for a single jerry can holder. This is lockable as well. So this is a new product from Trig Point that was released late 2024. Holds a 20-litre jerry can and also doubles down as a 4.5 kilo gas bottle holder. So if you're touring and you want to cook with, gas, which I love, I don't use induction, although we've got all the power, I choose gas. In saying that, nice and lockable as well, and it looks clean on the back end, which is pretty nice. On the rear, you can see how low the profile is between the rooftop tent and also the actual roof rails of the Trig Point Canopy. And that's just to keep the center of gravity down as much as possible. And we do not overhang anything that we don't need to on the rear. Again, counterbalance. We've got a constant driving camera up the top, which has got a nice 7.5 inch screen on the inside the cab. The vehicle's got full vision at all times, whether it's reversing, parking, towing, it's got it all. We also run another factory camera on the underside as well, which pops up on the screen. We've got a provision for a secondary camera, again for driving. But then with the kicker with this is the camera system that we use, we've got a plug out here that taps into the tow vehicle. In this case, which there's a video going to come through shortly on what this vehicle will actually be towing. It's a horse float that you haven't seen before, so you'll be pretty surprised what we can do with that. Solar from the horse float is coming in and powering the system, so that again, we'll have a small battery setup just to run a fridge in there, but the big amount of solar from that roof platform, we've set it up in a 48 volt system coming through into the power plant that's inside the canopy, which we'll get to and show you guys. Again, that's another Anderson plug to charge the battery in the actual horse float. Or that's constant power if in case they're at camp or when they're operating, they've got their big Mike Coolman 95 litre fridge sitting here, they run the Anderson lead, plug it in, there's no cables hanging out of the car or any of that nature. It's very clean and simple. Tag tow bar, high clearance, lightweight, love it, super clean. And again, we're just fortunate that it matches the Manix Black textured powder coat, which is our constant preference on all canopies. The reason for this is it just presents well with any vehicle color. So it's a nice combination that works. It's not an aggressive texture. It's not like a hammer tone or any of that nature. It's super, super clean. You can still put signage on it and it just presents really well. So we've done the upgraded tail lights in these, the LED, clear LED tail lights from Trig Point. Just looks super clean. But often people say, where are your tanks and where are your taps? Now with this, I'll explain. We've got 2 50-litre water tanks segregated so that we don't always have to carry the volume in both tanks. We can chop and change. The beauty of that is we've got a fill system from the left side, we've got a fill system from the right side going to each individual tank. But The kicker is we run a looped hose from the driver's side, and that way we can drain one tank and fill the other. So we're running one pump, and then we've got all the filtration system for the coffee bar underneath, accumulators, water pumps, filters, all underneath, and we can fill the tanks through here. Also, not that I recommend this, but if you've got a really decent filter and you're out somewhere remote and you've got a clean river that's flowing, you can actually reverse the pump and feed from the river through the system into your tanks or shower. Moving around. So often people say of recent, now that they've got a small rooftop tent or a low profile, you can't put a freestanding awning on. The guys at Bush Company have designed brackets that suit. So here you can see we're running the 270 XT Max awning, folds right around and right to the front. This is completely still freestanding. We've got the right brackets to suit, we've got the right clearance for the door, and it's not sitting too high up above the actual rooftop tent. In relation to why we use Trig Point. Trig Point, I come across Trig Point 6.5, 7 years ago through a photo I seen online. I think it might have been Photophobia, I think it might have been Michael Ellen's car. And I seen a Trig Point canopy. After hunting around speaking to people, I physically couldn't get what I wanted. Now, I made contact with Trig Point going, love your design. How can we, make this work? You guys are in Melbourne, I'm on the Gold Coast. I'm gonna tip some money into this without even knowing the product. The guys were super, super helpful, very, very thorough, and very detailed in what they had produced. So, lo and behold, fast tracked the time, we ordered the canopy, got fitted up. From the time that we started using these canopies, I knew that they were the right fit. After what I'd gone and, the exercise I'd gone to meet fabricators and see what was out there, I just knew. So the test was, get up to Cape York with a coffee machine in the back. It wasn't bolted in at the time, it was all strapped down. Same with the grinder. We got up to Cape York, got out of Cape York after 4 weeks sleeping in a rooftop tent, running a coffee bar with an off-grid little setup. When I came back, now I'm fastidious when it comes to cleaning. We opened the door, there was absolutely no dust in there. And what I mean by no dust ingress, I mean when you're driving down the highway on the corrugations. You get dust ingress when the door is up and you're at camp, period. Nobody's gonna stop that. But when you're cruising and you don't get dust, you know you're onto something really good. And that's why we've chosen these. All right, enough foreplay. We've said what we've had to say. We've showed you how we build a vehicle from the external side, but where we come into this whole game is what's on the inside, right? Let's go. That's what you get when you come to Espresso 79. You get something that is so bespoke that will blow anyone's mind. I mean, we're talking a four-wheel drive here. We're talking a canopy here. We're talking off-grid, no genset, no power backup. This is as good as it's gonna get. In the modern world that we live in, with the demand for coffee, and I'm not talking coffee, dirty water, Nescafe, I'm talking serious coffee. Like these machines, the way we tweak these machines, the combinations that we put together in these canopies extract quality, high-end specialty coffee. This is no joke. This system, running the Victron gear, the big 48-volt batteries, all inside this small headboard, is all housed in there that's serviceable, and you can get a solid 7 hours of runtime. And this is at full noise with this combination. 7 hours, like most markets don't operate for 7 hours. No event operates for 7 hours. So you could go at night and do a wedding, do any private event. This is gonna cater for it. This is exactly why we're in business, because we've gone away from the general run-of-the-mill stuff that we've learned over the years, where you see vans driving around, popping up the back, coffee granules everywhere, milk spill, no jug rinses, filthy jugs. Like, this is just changing the game a little bit on that perspective. Yes, mobile coffee's been around, but they all run generators or diesel generators, which you can hear, and they also require 240 mains. Here, we're running, there is no leads on this vehicle whatsoever. You can see in the battery system here on the screen showing you the power that's coming out. We've got a Mythos grinder running, we've got a Creme 2 group with an 11.5 litre boiler, and you can brew out of these two taps and steam from both ends at the same time. There is no lag, and the throughput through this, I can guarantee you, if you can produce 500 coffees in a day, I guarantee you this combination will do it. We'll do it hands down. You might need more hands, but this combination will do it. So 100 litres of water on board. We've got a beautiful jug rinser here, so to keep your jugs fresh so that you're not got any cross-contamination or grubby milk that's steamed around the jugs. Like, that's just the yuck. Inside is as bespoke as you'll get in, I don't know, in probably a house on Sovereign Island, I don't know. But have a look inside and you can see for yourself the level and detail and attention. Now, we haven't gone over the top. It's all about the detail. It's just details. Enjoy what's in here, and next we'll show you how well it can brew a coffee. In these builds that we do, often there's so many different components that go into them. Now with our experience through trialing, testing, and just being out in the field, seeing what works, what doesn't work, there's limitations, but then there's also sky's the limit. And that's what I love doing. So in this case, customer turned up, they've seen what we've produced in the past, and they've loved what we've done. So effectively, they come to us, they might have an idea, but ultimately, it's like you and I, like we all know, sometimes you just don't have it, you don't have that visual concept, but you sort of sense what you want. In this instance, the customer had a sample piece of what's in the roof, which is a pressed copper tin. So quite vintage, which ties in with the business name, Vintage Soul, Espresso bar. So when I seen the sample, they were like, can you make it happen? I said, you give me the sample, you leave the rest to me. And that's how we produce these builds. I tune in to our customers that we meet. It's not about them giving me a color palette, I want this, I want that. It's just what we feel and see. Now, we also don't make decisions until we see the car, and when the canopy goes on the car, there's certain things that we then tie into the build to ensure that it's aesthetically pleasing. We don't just build the canopy and go, yep, see you later, mate, all the best. Chances are you might get it wrong, because when you look at the side on, the side angle, when this is all opened up, it's got to flow from the start to the end, and especially what's inside here. So we have our standards that we use with the coffee machine and the grinder. That's a given. There's 3 components here that we will not deviate from, because they're serviceable for the customer. Their price point is you can achieve it and you can get a good return on it, and they actually work. So from the mounting positioning to the size of the grinder to the size of the machine, everything works within this window, this espresso bar window. In saying that, we have done in the past custom headboards, we've done custom roofs like this one, but this has got quite a different feel about it. A nice plain Manix black headboard to tie off all the nuts and bolts that are in the back end, so you don't see that. But then it doubles down. We've got a beautiful sign that's going in on this, and then also some hanging ornaments, part of their business, what they've got to showcase to their customers will be along that back wall as well. So some handcrafted steel leaves, which is a customer's choice. Again, they brought it over and said, we don't know where we can put this. What can you do with it? And I say, leave it with me and I'll get back to you on it. And that's just, it's just what I see, what I do visually, making sure that the customer's gonna receive it and go, wow, that's exactly what I wanted. So we're tapping into the psyche a little bit of the human, so, which is pretty cool. Luxury hybrid flooring, there is a specific reason why I use this. We have done camphor laurel in the past, which is in my Land Cruiser. Why we choose luxury hybrid floorings, and I'll let out a secret here, and that is because there is a really nice acoustic rubber that is anti-vibrational as well. So therefore we're preserving the machines, we're preserving the grinder, we're preserving the lights, the LED lights that are up in the roof, and also the power system as well. So That's why we use this. But serviceability. If you damage these panels, we have excess product that goes with the customer home. If they damage the panel, they can pull out a couple of things, remove a panel, replace it, and away you go. So the template is already there. You just trace it, cut it with a knife, put it in, and away you go. Really easy. Inside the power plant, behind our headboard here, so often people question, where is the power coming from, because they can't see it. This just looks like a clean, serviceable body panel. Off the headboard, we're coming out about 190 mil, which we've got 800 amp of lithium batteries, which are 48 volt, and we've got a 6,000 watt inverter on the right-hand side as well. Super lightweight that is, but very, very efficient. All the fruit that goes in to make the power plant happen are built on the bench within our own custom designed headboard carrier for all the batteries, so they're all fully braced. There's no straps tying batteries down. There's none of that. Everything is bolted in, bolted to the headboard. This panel comes away, so these bolts in here will allow that panel to remove or slide out if you want to get into there and service it. There's also, this is a folding panel that falls down. Yes, you remove that one light, but there's enough clearance to get this panel down. If you need to do a master reset on the batteries, you just put your hand on the inside, there's a master reset. Really easy. USBs, Type-C, we got the light switching here, and on the other side we've got our solar breaker and our 240 CBOs as well. So the biggest thing with this is people will ask, why don't we have a fridge in these? We do. On that side, on the driver's side, we're running a 95 litre dual zone fridge. So you can use it for ice, you can use it for cold brew, you can use it for full different styles of milk. The beauty of why we don't have a fixed fridge in here is I'm a big believer that, again, we're going away from the vans and we're not working our head to the our head face to the actual machine or the backboard. We can open that side, we remove the fridge, we place it next to the barista so that they're at arm's reach away from the milks. We're not walking around the other side grabbing bits and pieces, but then when you open that up, think of this. If you've got a beautiful horizon, you've got a beautiful sunrise, and you're brewing coffee and your customers are there or your customers are around you, you've got full airflow going through, you've got a full visual, you can have a conversation with other customers on the other side because it acts as a bench, it acts as a bar. You can serve them, they grab their coffee, they go and stand on the other side, they get to enjoy it. It's not a fridge, you're not looking at the back of the fridge. And that's the beauty of why we've chosen this. Well, we're wrapping up this video, guys. We hope you've enjoyed the walkthrough. It's a little bit sad knowing that this vehicle's gonna leave us today because I've been enjoying every minute of it. It's been my favorite build to date. So customers coming in, they're coming up from Queensland to pick this up in the next couple of hours, which is gonna be super exciting. Can't wait to show them what we've achieved because they haven't seen it yet. They've had a little teaser, but they haven't seen it yet. So look, hope we've answered a lot of questions. If we haven't, drop us a comment, get in touch with us. Happy to showcase what you might have in mind as well so that we can get talking on this. But yeah, follow our socials. So Vintage Soul is the business name for this vehicle, guys. Follow their socials. They'll be hitting the road real soon. When you do, and if you do get a chance to pop in, have a look. If you're not a coffee drinker, still enjoy what has been created here. If you're a coffee drinker, you're going to be blown away through and through. So enjoy.